Hey there, what's going on? Welcome back to my channel. I was asked if I would go over my favorite memories that I had while on trails, so stick around. I'll share with you. Yeah, so I'm actually out here this weekend. We have our spring family camp out, and I'm one of the few that's actually retired, so I just get out here a little bit early and start setting up. So I had a few minutes. I thought I'd throw another vlog together. So yeah, I've been asked about some of my favorite memories while on trail. So let's get into a few of them. So I was part of a tramily for a few weeks. At max capacity, there was 6 of us in that tramily. So it was running on empty. Of course, these are trail names. Running on empty, Heavy, Lolly, Hey Baby Mama, Blue, and myself. And one of my favorite memories from my time on the Appalachian Trail was probably one of the last times we were all together. And I've shown a I've shown a photo of this in one of my earlier vlogs, and it was when we were all in Franklin, North Carolina, and we had spent a day. We visited Outdoor 76, and we went down to the little diner and we had lunch. And while we were having lunch, I snapped a picture of all of us sitting there at the table, enjoying a meal together. And that was probably one of my favorite memories while I was on trail, because it was all of us. We all just loved Franklin, North Carolina for all that it was and all that it offered. And it really wasn't long after that, maybe directly after that, where we kind of started breaking off. Different times, different goals, different reasons, things like that. But I remember that like it was yesterday, and we just had a lot of fun together. Had a real great group of people, all out there for the same reasons, and just had a good time with them. Beyond that, I think probably my favorite memories revolve around some of the experiences or the sights, I guess, that I had while on trail. So, things like Klingman's Dome was super enjoyable. That's roughly, ballpark figures here, roughly right in the middle of the Great Smoky Mountain National Park. We got there on day 3 of our journey through the Great Smokies, and I remember there was some weather coming in. It was super windy, real windy that day, windier than it is today. Super windy, probably in the 30-ish mile an hour range, and not to mention it was cold also. The temps were probably in the low 40s, but with that kind of wind gusts, it felt like it was probably down into the 20s. So I just remember that day. Hey Baby Mama met us up at Klingman's Dome. Super sweet of her. She brought Blue and I a food resupply, which we of course used to get through the remainder of our Smoky Mountain National Park trek, which basically about 3 more days. So she brought us each roughly 3 more days of food, so that we didn't have to come off trail and go into town. So that was super nice. But just a landmark, a beautiful landmark. Just kind of the way that it goes up in that circular pattern. The walking path to get up to it is just so neat, and it's such a high elevation. Got some pretty good views given the wind and the cold temps, but I wasn't up there for very long. That was certainly one of my more memorable days on trail. Another one was probably Charlie's Bunion, and I'll try and include a few photos of these landmarks, I guess, if you will, at the end of the video or somewhere in here, and just kind of remind folks of that's exactly where I was when those photos were taken. But Charlie's Bunion, it's basically a rock outcropping And if you get up there on a good day like I happen to, you can see for literal miles and miles and miles. I mean, it was such a beautiful day when I was up there. And I've seen so many other vloggers go through this area, and it was really intriguing to me. So when I got there myself, it was just more than I could have imagined. It was just a beautiful, beautiful spot, wonderful view. Lots of super nice people up there that day. There were a few day hikers. A couple of day hikers actually took the photos of me while I was up there. And there were some other through hikers that came through as well. Everybody was just excited that day. The weather, like I said, was just wonderful. It was sunny, and you could see all the various peaks out there in the distance, and it was just something to behold, truthfully. So Charlie's Bunyan is right up there at the top with Klingman's Dome. Yeah, so many other great spots, but those two for sure ring a bell, just because of basically what they stand for and the particular views that I had. Beyond that, I would say, some of the fun times also were those times when I was able to get into town. Blue and I actually we got into Fontana Dam area about the same time, as did Heavy, and the three of us, we had a great time. Blue and I went into Fontana Village, and as did Heavy. I'm trying to go through my memory. So Heavy went in with us the first day, but he left that afternoon to go to a different hostel, I believe. Whereas Blue and I, we stayed right at Fontana Village. Well, Fontana Village it's a resort is what it is. And it just lays out in the most beautiful area there of North Carolina that I've probably seen in a long time. Just a wonderful, wonderful resort. It has so much to offer people who stop in there, not just through hikers, but just vacationers and so forth. I mean, there's so much to do there on property that's free, and that's the important thing. A lot of these resorts, you pay an arm and a leg to stay there, and then they charge you for every single thing you want to do. Well, that's not the case here. I mean, there was a list of probably 20 things that were free. So I'll give you a few examples. So they had a really neat disc golf course right there on property. Of course, I didn't take the opportunity to do it while I was there, because we were really getting caught up on all of our things that we needed to do, like charging up our electronics and resupplying our food, doing our laundry, doing all those sorts of things. But they had a really nice disc golf course there that was free. They had putt-putt golf. I want to say, was it 9 or 18? Man, my memory's not what it used to be. Anyway, really nice putt-putt golf course. Again, free, didn't charge you for it. They had a basketball court. They had a volleyball court. They had a swimming area, including a pool and an area for kids. A shuffleboard court. I'm leaving a lot of things off, but these things were free, which I thought was really neat. Everything was just made available, whether it was basketballs, volleyballs, shuffleboard, putt-putt, clubs and balls. All that stuff was just made available, and I thought that was really neat. But there's so many options there. There's a campground actually as part of it on the backside. There's rooms that are somewhat kind of like hotel rooms, but there's also cabins. There's 4 and 6 plexes where you can rent a room for a night or a weekend or whatever. I mean, there's so many options there to be had. And as we understood it, someone, maybe a group, had just bought the place, and they were doing a lot of renovations, major renovations. So a lot of renovations were going on while we were there. So it was the kind of area that I'd love to go back to one of these days. Maybe if I just pull my own camper back or something like that and stay in the campground and take advantage of all that that area of North Carolina has to offer, because it was a super, super cool place. Mountains just in the background, you know, to provide an awesome setting. 2 or 3 different restaurant options. They had an arcade on site, which was going under, it was under renovations while we were there, so we didn't get to go in and look at it. But there's so much to do. Not to mention the area. You can you know, set yourself up for canoeing or kayaking or float tripping. There's just so much to do in this area. I thought it was super neat. So Fontana Village in Fontana, North Carolina. I think maybe it's Fontana Village, North Carolina, whatever. But that's the area. Really thought that was a neat area to visit. Then I went into Gatlinburg one night trying to dodge some pretty bad weather, and had a good time in Gatlinburg. I've been there before, so it wasn't anything new to me. It's clearly a tourist trap. So I'm sure every state has their handful of tourist traps. Gatlinburg is certainly one of them, but I had a good stay. I stayed right on the strip there where everything was within walking distance. So I went down to the Outfitters one night, one afternoon, checked that out. Several restaurants and so much stuff to do. They have sky chair lifts or whatever that take you up, kind of up in the mountains and back. Ripley's, believe it or not, had a place there, wax museums. I mean, just all that kind of touristy restaurants and candy shops and all those sorts of things are available there in Gatlinburg, for those who don't know. Super neat place. Definitely there's a markup, I think, in that area on most anything you want to do or pay for, but definitely a neat area. I happened to be there during their spring break, so it was quite busy. Again, showed some of that in one of my vlogs while I was going through there, so I won't bore you with much other details, but I had a good stay there. And then Hot Springs, North Carolina, where I kind of ended my journey for now. Super small, quaint town, like I said when I was there, but they had some really nice little restaurants and diners. I liked that it was small town vibe, but they had a very good hiking vibe. So the town supports hikers, clearly. Probably cater to them in many respects, but oh man, had a great time there. I'm looking forward to going back this fall and starting my next section hike there again. I'll probably take that first night that I get into town, and I'll get a room there, and again take in the town, have a nice dinner there the next morning, maybe get up and have some breakfast at the diner, and then hop back on trail. So that's kind of the plan, I think, for this fall. So anyway, this video's gone on long enough. That covers a lot of my favorite memories and a couple of the awesome views that I had, or the times that I had on trail, as well as some of the times when I went in to kind of catch a break. So hope that answers a lot of the questions on that. I appreciate you guys stopping by. Hope you have a wonderful weekend, and we'll talk soon.